everyone. Thanks for logging in. Excuse my voice. I have a little bit of a cold and I haven't been feeling so well. So, I am making this video to tell you how to make money from home and some fairly easy ways, either starting off with little to no money or starting off with a couple $100. It depends on your situation and how much you have to spare. So, one option that I have that I'm currently doing is working from home, making money off of Amazon. How do you do this? Well, we decided that we were going to minimalize our life and cut down on our clutter. What you see behind me is just some of the stuff that I personally like. They mean every item up there has a value to me. It is either part of my collection, and I don't have very many collections, or it's something that I intend on reading, or that I have read and I want to keep because it was a good book. In any case, so that's my little collection behind me. But before this, that was behind me, I had 8 bookshelves like this, full of nothing but books. I know there's people out there with bigger book collections, and I know there's people with less. I also know that I had a bunch of like knick-knack stuff, and I had stuff that it was cool at the time, but I will never use again. So I started off with trying to go and sell it all at a garage sale at my house. I didn't make much. I made maybe $150 once everything was said and done. So it really wasn't worth my time or energy. Another option. So I went home. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I looked up online the best ways to sell books because that was the majority of my items with books. And when I looked, I found that there are several sites out there, but Amazon gave me the most freedom and had the most legitimacy to it. There is eBay. eBay doesn't require as much legitimacy, so if there's a problem as a seller or as a buyer, you aren't as able to get the resolution you necessarily are needing or wanting on either end. So in any case, Amazon just has a lot more security procedures in place. Setting up the account for Amazon was the hardest thing to do through the whole process. Once I set up the account, it took about 2 weeks because what would end up happening is once you get in all your information, you have to have a name that you come up with, and it can be a cutesy little name. Nobody really even knows, or it can just be the first part of your email. Again, nobody looking really pays attention to that. Um, but what ends up happening is you set this information up and then they ask you for other information like payment methods, and you have to provide bank accounts and credit cards and just all this other stuff, and it is linked to your normal Amazon account. So if you have a current Amazon account, you can turn it into a business account, and all these different things have different benefits to it. And then I have to get approved for different types of selling on Amazon. The most generic selling is anything with a UPC code, so long as it's not something that has licensing attached to it, like Disney or Marvel or something along the lines of that. If it has a UPC code, and the UPC code is this, that little code right there. That's your UPC code. So, oh, I lost my little alien. But that's how you look up items. You can type in names. Sometimes there's wrong UPC codes per item. It depends. Sometimes there's multiple choices of, or different items will have the same UPC code even though they are different. Like ornaments come to mind for Christmas. They're selling packs, and each pack may have the same UPC code. Makes it easier for the sell or the business to inventory it in that sense. But each individual package may have like one be Santa, one be the snowman, one maybe candy canes or whatever. But it's all the same size and shapes. Basically, it's just they're not the same clearly, and so because of that, Amazon has their own way of labeling things. So if you can't look it up by UPC code, you can type in. And there are some companies, games I found, like toys that children play with, and anything for babies. Those are the hardest restrictions to sell. Reason being, there's so many rules and regulation. Hasbro, which makes a lot of the board games, it's not that they don't want you to sell them, but you have to contact the company, get a special permission, and then you have to prove that the items you have you bought. Well, when I started, I only sold the items that was basically left over from my garage sale that I was going to get rid of anyways. I ended up starting with 160 items. And then I went to garage sales, thrift stores, secondhand stores, and antique places, and I would buy books. I would buy because I knew books would is easy item sell. If I saw an item in a package, I would buy that. If I knew it wasn't something that fell into those previous categories that were harder to get approval for. So I did all that, and then there's other things you could do that you don't need money to start with necessarily. You can literally clean out a closet, and it has the option to list it as new, used, and then there's variations on used. There's used like new, used very good, used good, and then used adequate. Um, those four, they encourage you to put specifics. So if it's a used like new, I'd put something for a book, no creases in the spine, been read, but no damage to pages, no marks, no tears, no, it looks new basically. But if it was used adequately, I'd be like, came from smoke damage house. And I would be as specific as possible if there was a tear or what the book was, and you can include pictures, so that helps for people who are making the decision. And then of course I would price them accordingly. I'm not going to sell a used like new book the same as I would sell a used acceptable book. um, Not everybody on Amazon follows this rule, but that's just me, and that's the way I do them. So next thing I learned really quickly with Amazon is Amazon does not charge you for the shipping unless you sign up for it. Meaning you have to buy a scale. A scale costs about $40, and for a nice little scale, I have one scale. That's my computer. That right there, that's my scale. You see that down there? Okay, so my little scale here, there's the actual scale, there's the scale weight, and then I have my printer. Those things basically make it. My camera's all out of whack now. There, that's better. So I had to buy that. Those $40, and then you have to have the paper to print, and you have to have the paper and bags. I found ordering these kind of bags. They are poly lined plastic bags for shipping. I initially had gone to the dollar store and bought envelopes and letters for mailing. Well, putting that nicely, that didn't go anywhere. And then there's this kind. This is double sided paper. It's paper that you use for labels. I got the two per sheet. I cut these already, they're pre cut. So when I make my mail, because I don't have to go to the post office, what I do, and because most of the items I sell are books anyways, I do have other knickknacks and things of that nature. But what ends up happening is you put this into the printer and it prints up the label, and then you put it on the package, and it's all good to go. So Amazon, you do have to get approved through Amazon to do your own shipping from home, and you have your choices, and you sign up for all these different choices. If you don't want to do it and you'd rather go to the post office, you have a better deal with whoever, great, more power to you. They send, as a business owner through Amazon, they send us regular emails, and Amazon is now officially testing out their bulk shipping through Amazon. So basically, any items I have that weigh under a pound, I can get a bulk shipping price. I pay a one-time fee, and I end up saving, instead of spending the $2.99 to ship each individual item that weighs under a pound. It doesn't matter what the item is. I would get that exact same item if I prepaid in advance, say for 100 of them. I would probably get it for $200, not the $299 because of the fees and whatnot. But that's by going through Amazon. Amazon's trying to set up their own shipping network. They have everything in place. It would be cheaper for everybody in the long run. But there's a testing stages now. I don't know when that's going to become an actual like public thing that other people can use. In any case, so yes, I have. You can buy your shipping. Once everything's said and done, then the next stage is to add more inventory. You can do this in your free time. I spent probably at first, and when I say at first, I mean like actually trying to build up my inventory and whatnot. Right now, I have close to about 2,500 items. They vary in range from different books to actual knickknacks and things in boxes and holidays and whatnot. I find that holiday stuff sells starting about the beginning of November, really takes off the beginning of December, and that there are trends and different things that sell. January, you're going to want to hit and make sure you have, if you do sell food items, that you have the weight loss stuff, the granola bars, the drinks, the things of that nature. Um, Another thing is that they don't tell you that you need to watch out for when you do is your shipping costs. Your shipping cost is not just shipping costs. It can be shipping and labor. Meaning if you have to spend 10 minutes in line at the post office to do this, or if you're at home and you're having to pay for the materials, the bags and the labels and everything, that's part of the shipping cost. I wouldn't go overboard. I mean, you could technically charge $10 per item shipped, irregardless of the item. That would be a little, I think, forward, and not many buyers would go for that. But you want to try to stay around the trend of what the post office, and if you go online to the USPS post office, you can see about their rates, and you can put it in there that the first pound always is my rate is $4.99. For the first pound, no matter what it is, it's $4.99. Anything over a pound, every additional pound goes down to $2.99. So if I have an item that is 10 pounds, what would end up happening is they get charged the $4.99 and the $2.99 times 9, and that would be their shipping cost that they pay me to ship them their item. Because they're paying a higher shipping cost, I would make sure that that 10-pound item would show up in a nice box that is secured with bubble wrap and whatever materials needed to protect that item, and then labeled correctly and sealed correctly and shipped. In the event, and this has happened, that things have gotten broken, you have resources of going through whoever you shipped it through about disputing it, and then they refund, and you can refund everybody. Everybody's happy, and because it wasn't my fault that the item broke or got damaged or lost in the mail, but it wasn't the buyer's fault either. So you do that as a courtesy to make everybody happy and just keep everybody informed. That doesn't come up very often. Out of the I don't know. I've probably had 500 customers by now, at least, maybe closer to 1,000. And out of those, I've gotten 3 complaints, and I've gotten 40 reviews. And out of the reviews, my rating right now is a 97. So the 3 complaints, one of them was from a lady who claimed that she contacted me. She did not. She contacted Amazon. Amazon did contact me, but because she contacted Amazon, Amazon did not contact her back. So it was my fault for not contacting her in the thing, and she put a complaint on my page. And once someone complains, there's no real way of them being taken off. You can fight it, you can dispute it, but it's not going. You can give your side of it, but that doesn't necessarily bring your score up or down any. And when you're first starting up, every point on your score is vital to keep good company and good business. So now that I'm in the business and got it started and everything, Now it's just keeping the inventory. Now that I have the inventory and I have about 3,000 items in my inventory SKUs, I keep them downstairs and where they're out of the way, but they're easy for me to find and organize very well. What I end up doing is I will I add. It takes time adding these items into your queue, so it's not that you can't do it. If I'm out yard sailing, I could literally pull up on my phone Amazon seller account and I could type in the UPC code or the name of the item and pop it right and see if there's any issues with me selling it. If there isn't any issues, I can add it right there, knowing I'm buying it, and that way I don't have to do it when I get home. I know it's done. Um, when I have boxes of stuff that I need to go through and actually inventory and put in to Amazon, then that can take a little bit of time. But on a bad day, and when I say a bad day, this is usually after like a weekend of garage sale shopping. And I never spend more than $200 when I go garage sales ever. I don't care, but I never spend that much money. I will have these boxes and stuff and these items, go through them, and I have to actually sit there with my laptop and I just pull the box and I start putting the items in one by one. Doing that, if I took my time, I could have it done in 3 days, or I can knock it out all in one. It depends on what happened. It depends on the week. I might have other things coming up. It's so I don't have to sit there and I'll do it and crank it out. So on an average week, I would say I would spend about 10 hours working, actually working the business. Every day I have to check to make sure anything's sold. I package it, ship it, mail it off. I'm good. So another thing that you can do from home now that we are 17 minutes into Amazon is a home business that you are taking care of other people's children. Um, this is something that usually requires you have a license through the state. You usually have to be CPR and first aid certified. That's like $40. Licensing through the state sometimes are free. Sometimes it costs a couple $100. It depends on your jurisdiction. It also depends on what kind of background checks they do make you pay for that. Some of them are free. Some of them go upwards to $100. It really depends how detailed that particular area that you live in and county social services wants to get. So another thing that you could do, this is that, and I have to warn you, that is great if you are in a house and you have children already and you have toys. You just need to make sure that certain parts of the house, the child's bedroom, that's your own children, and the business part are completely separate. There's no intertwining toys. So another thing, and you need to make sure you have enough like high chairs and playpens and things of that nature. But those are when you're first starting out. It's having extra stuff like that's not usually a problem. Adding to it, depending on how big you want to grow, can. You usually can make anywhere from $200 because you figure about $100 a week per child. Most states and licensing allow you to have at the most around 8 kids by yourself. So you would be anywhere from $200 to $800 a week. And that's pretty good money. If you get money through the state by the low income children and you get approved for that, that's another couple $100 that will be coming in that you don't have to fight the parents about getting and whatnot. And if something comes up and you can't do it for whatever reason, you give your parents notice, you close the business. It's no harm necessarily, but it's a lot different than working in a daycare center when it's your own home and it's not your children that you're watching. It's not babysitting by any means. This is an actual career. So in any case, maybe I'll make another video about that in a little bit more detail. The final thing on how you can make money in your home: save, 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 save. There are so many ways to save money in your home. You would be surprised. And I know there are a lot of people out there struggling. One way is we do not need to pay for cable. We don't. Cable is out. It's obsolete almost. Cable companies have not caught on that internet TV and internet programming is the way to go. Between Roku and between all these services, majority of them free. There might be a few you want to pay for: Netflix, Hulu. There's Amazon Prime with Prime Video, and then there's also the Sling TV, and I know there's more out there. And even if you buy like the Roku or the Amazon Fire Stick, they have included the free channels and free things you can watch on there. I think the last count was that there are like 55,000 or 550,000 movies, more almost half a million items out there that you could watch. There's more stuff than you could literally have time for. So that's just an example. Cut that stuff out. Get what you want. Burn through Hulu or whatever. Subscribe to HBO or Showtime or Cinemax or whatever company and movies you type to like to watch. Watch it till you're blue in the face. And if that's all you're watching, these particular shows or whatever, why do you need all those other channels that you're never watching? Seriously. Why? If you like sports, get a sports channel network. Pay for it for the 3 or 4 months that your games are on. Get access to all the games. You're not paying anything extra than you would be on a cable bill or anything else. So it's just that's like it. All you need is good internet. You don't even need a Roku device or an Amazon stick. Those are helpful because you don't have to necessarily log in and remember passwords or anything. I would keep a master password list, but that's just an option. So the last thing to save money is coupon. You need to get the deals when you can. Um, and if you can find the good deals, you need to, if you have coupons to go on top of it, the more money you save, the better and easier it gets. People who plan ahead do better. All right. So I've been rambling on now for 20 minutes. Doesn't feel like 20 minutes. I'm sorry if I have bored you, but I hope I gave you more ideas. And if you have any other suggestions or things I thought left out, please let me know and I'll gladly respond back. I love having criticized videos where we can dialogue between each other and work it out. And you may be thinking of something that I just didn't think of. Thanks for watching. Bye. Have a good night.